What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you this Sunday. We've got our Dewey blowing the steam in our face, getting ourselves relaxed. We've got Tim Jackson, future mayor of Dallas. Now,
I don't know about that one right
we
there,
just do that to
man.
make everybody mad. We do that one to make everybody mad. And this book, listen, I just want y'all to laugh a little bit. Do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Listen, 10 Tips on How to Ruin Your Marriage by Alicia Cooper, one of my students. I'm very proud of her. Y'all get that book. I'll put in the link. Now, Tim Jackson, you have a very popular, you're popular. I'm glad we were able to track you down for the interview today. But, we realize that you just retired. You just do what you want to do. So I want you to talk to us today. Break it down and who are you? Introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, first things first, I think the Classy Climb audience is getting to know me well. But for those who don't know me, my name is Tim Jackson. Mm-hmm. I am a real estate broker here in Dallas, Texas. I also operate a nonprofit organization, Real Youth Mentoring. Mm-hmm. I recently retired from real estate this year to start shooting my first documentary. So you can add filmmaker to that. I'm so excited about this documentary. It's going to change lives. The subject matter that we're dealing with is one that definitely needs to be touched that many people are kind of trying to shy away from. Mm-hmm. So I have an event coming up this Friday, September 17th in Dallas. I'll give you more details about it. But we're going to actually use that event as a think tank as well. So everyone who participates comes to that event will more than likely be in the documentary. So we're going to have such a good time, you guys. But yeah, my slogan, if you guys don't know who I am, I was on the Classy Climb tour. My slogan is get the fuck out of debt. I always say that, I say it so candidly now, but literally like when people would come to me to buy properties and they couldn't obtain properties is because most of them had a bunch of debt. The debt to income ratio was so high. And then people would tell me they want to start businesses and they started doing all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't have the money. And when we would look at their situation, it had nothing to do with anything but the fact that they just had a ton of debt. And so when I retired, the one thing about this whole, the situation that the United States has been in since last, spring. I don't
Pandemic.
Right? Huh?
Pandemic is what we call it.
Yeah, I don't want to mess the algorithm up too much, but it was during that time that I realized that it was time for me to step away from real estate to really serve my purpose, which is teaching people the various aspects of taking control of their financial life and doing so in such a fun way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, finances is just such a boring ass topic. Like, I mean, it's like watching the dry eyes. For dry eyes, use clear eyes. When people talk about that, like most people that are really good at it, they're boring as hell. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to make it fun. Anyone who knows me, I see some people making some comments that were at the tour. Y'all know we're going to have a good time. But I'm not going to BS you. I'm going to tell you what I did. And I'm not going to speak on things that I'm not familiar with. But a lot of these concepts are just common sense concepts, Ericka, and we just need to implement them.
Listen, what's the funny thing that happened when we were in DC? Was it the Dave Ramsey conversation? I already put it in the tag. Dave Ramsey not for black people.
Hey man, you know what, man? Listen. Dave does what he does, but it's a lot of black folks that just don't get with Dave. They don't rock with him because, and Dave Ramsey talked to people crazy as hell. Like if you listen to Dave Ramsey,
I love it.
Some shit Dave Ramsey be saying, I'm like, boy, we were face to face, man. I don't think he was saying it to my face, And I mean, he be going in on people. And listen, that's needed, you know what I'm saying? But there's a demographic of people that Dave Ramsey just ain't hitting. And that's, I don't know if that's by design or if it's by coincidence, but, I feel like I can really, really hit that demographic and make it fun because I don't believe in no debt. Like there's a such thing as good debt. I don't care what anybody says. There's a such thing as a good debt. And so what we teach people is how to use the good debt to build wealth, like transforming, your good debt your debt into wealth and making it work for you. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that's what my system is about. And I've been doing business consulting, but this is my baby. So, I'm excited about talking some more about that.
I think, we've had what's the ebbs and flows of the internet? The best way to say it. Everybody, hey, what's up? If you're in the chat right now, drop your city and state in the chat and hit that like button. Give it to us. It's Sunday. Lord paid it all. Just hit the likes for free. All right. So listen, here's the thing about debt. We've had this kind of system on the internet, on the YouTube, where everybody thought they was gonna get some business credit, while their personal credit was a dumpster fire, and they were gonna make so much money that it would pay off their other debt. And what people have learned, and what I'm learning from my consulting calls and personal life and stuff, is people got over leveraged. And now they're working to pay this debt. Now, many people say, well, Ericka, I'm not irresponsible, I'm over leveraged. And I go, well, do you got student loan debt? Yes. Do you got house debt? Yes. Do you got car debt? Yes. Then take note what's called today. Are you not over leveraged?
Well, people don't like to admit, like, here's the thing about it. When we were in DC, and shout out to everybody. I see a lot of people in the comments that that came to our event. We had so much fun in Atlanta. I had such a blast in DC. But
they were spiking our drinks.
Hey, listen, hey man, whoever's making those drinks in DC, man, they need to make every drink for the rest of forever. But one thing I noticed at both events, and I tested this, we're having fun. I would say, so who in here is struggling with debt and yada yada, and nobody raised their hand. It's like nobody's struggling with this shit. Like most people want to come across as if they have their shit together. Mm-hmm. I did a reel today that talked about how you can literally get everything you want in life in the next 3 to 5 years if you just do 3 things, right? First thing is get the fuck out of debt. Second thing is get away from negative people, all right? Get away from negative people. And the third thing is just start. Like we want things to be pretty. We want things to look a certain way. When I started my increase by decrease method and started consolidating my life, I was getting ready to start a business and I didn't have any money. I had great credit, Ericka. I had assets, I had properties. I didn't have any money, right? And I learned something in that moment. I learned that I could go get a $300,000 mortgage easily. I could go obtain as much money as I wanted to in student loans. I mean, infinite amounts of money. I could get all the credit cards that I desired, right? But when it came time to get that business loan, wasn't nobody fooling with me like that. I think what I got a credit card for $5,000. Like, what am I going to do with that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I realized that I needed capital. And the first thing that we think is what? Well, let me go out there and get another job. Yep. Mm-hmm. Because we're taught to be workers and not thinkers.
Workhorses.
Somebody gonna catch that shit on the ride home. We're taught to be workers and not thinkers. And I sat down, I was like, I don't want to exchange time for dollars, Ericka. Like, I want to figure out a way to get this money so to work for me. So what I did was I looked at my budget and just identified all the areas in my budget where I was overspending. Mm-hmm. And I was able to find, and when it was all said and done, like $1,400, in my budget, in my current budget that I was tricking off, eating out every day for a month. And I'm not talking about fancy seafood steak, I'm talking about fast food, a burger joint, right? Mm-hmm. A burger, you go get a burger, that's $10. Every time. I was working crazy hours. So if I'm eating at the burger joint three times a day, that's $30 a day. 30 times 30 is $900, right? Yep. That's just on food. And I live right next to a grocery store, right? So then I just start picking apart. I had 2 gym memberships. I just had a bunch of just stupid shit, Eric.
Not 2 gym memberships.
2 of them. You know how they be like $9. I'm like, shit, I'll do it. And then one gym is closer to the home, and the other gym is by the office. Like, all right, it's just $9. You know what I'm saying? And I just, my cable, I cut my cable off. I was paying $275 a month for television, and I was only watching 3 channels, right? So I cut it off, got the internet, and then got one of those internet providers, and that went from $275 to $75. So
I thought you were about to say you got the Fire Stick.
Nah, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I tried that goofy ass Fire Stick for a while. It just didn't work for me, man.
I said you about to say Fire Stick, Lord Jesus. Not going.
You know what I'm saying? And so, somebody said, "Hey, Iman said I was tricking off on hamburgers." Yeah. Hey, can I get 2 pieces of cheese, right? And so, I was in there tricking off on them burgers, but it's like, then if I have my son and if he's hungry, if my wife is hungry.
If he's hungry.
It just adds, William gonna be hungry. He gonna be hungry. He ain't gonna eat it all, but he gonna be hungry.
Give me a pack of fries.
And so then I realized, man, okay, I found $1,500, like, and it became a game. All right, what else can I eliminate? So I sold my car, I sold my Lexus. and got out of a $650 car note. And then I rented out my house. I refinanced my house, lowered my mortgage down $300 from what I had been paying, and then turned around and rented it out for what I was originally paying. And what a lot of people don't realize, that's not a $300 save, that's a $600 swing. You understand what I'm saying? And so by the time I knew it, man, I had nearly $2,000 a month that I just had coming in that I could apply and expedite and pay off my debt. And over a 3-year period of time, I got rid of $190,000 worth of debt, because I was just paying off all my shit. Then I started buying properties that would finance my lifestyle. So I started investing in assets that would finance my lifestyle. And by then it's just like, well, shit, I can retire. I can sit back and let my assets kind of do what they need to do. And this was, during the height of a pandemic, when people were struggling to make a dollar, And so now I'm teaching these concepts because I'm just a kid from Pleasant Grove, man. I'm not anybody smart. I didn't go to some business school, and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn this shit. I just had a discipline, stuck to it, applied the money to certain areas, and there you go.
Listen, what a lot of people don't understand is I've got friends who make $150K a year, but they are neck deep. Yeah. Patience, credit cards. We had one friend just come to a realization. He was like, I got an Amex with $30,000 just, spent on it, right? And like, he just got serious and got on it. And so it's, there's some study that shows I think it's 10% or 20% of all people making six figures are living paycheck to paycheck. And people are like, oh, if I just had more money. But it's not just more money. It's the discipline part. It's
the discipline, because every time I made more money, I bought more shit.
More vacations.
I was buying new cars every 2-3 years. I was, buying watches, buying nice things. I traveled a lot. And listen, let's not get it twisted. I'm not going to be the dude that tells you don't live a nice life. I'm still going to take the good vacations. I'm still going to travel during the week. That's the whole purpose. That's what I want. But I don't want to have to pay for it myself. I don't want to have to put myself in a position where I got to exchange dollars for hours. If I can put systems in place to do that, then that's what I want to do.
Right. There's something I always want to clarify, because people get, on me on this channel. Well, Ericka, didn't you deliver pizzas and work all these jobs? I said I did, because when I was busy working like that, it became so crystal clear. Okay, I don't want to do this no more. And I need to do
Man, you said something right there. You said something. A lot of people try to chastise you and criticize you for doing certain things. It's like, you got to do certain things to figure out what you don't want to do, right? I signed up for Uber. I live in Texas. When I was going through this process, I signed up for Uber. We got the Cowboy Stadium here. So, man, you got NCAA championships that were here. You got a Super Bowl that was here. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. There's always something happening at these stadiums. Oh, yeah. And even though I only drove it a couple of times, or a couple of weekends, I made decent money. But I realized during that time, okay, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to deal with people, drunk people.
And I don't knock people that do it at all. That's a good lick. I know somebody that makes 6 figures driving Uber.
Yeah.
So let's not get it twisted. Yeah. But I learned, okay, well, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something a little bit more hands off. You know what I'm saying? I don't like people like that, unless we.
Listen, when I was in Florida, we were in Miami and we got a ride. This dude had 10,000 rides on his profile. And I was like, listen, how long you been driving? And he 5 years. And it wasn't even a thing in his mind. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, brother, but there got to be a plan. What's the next? What we doing after all this?
But you know what? That's the job. The guy, when I was in DC, that's what a guy told me. He had over 10,000 rides. I said, man, you've been doing this for a minute. He said during the pandemic, because most of the drivers switched to the Uber Eats and the favor, because they didn't want to be in contact with people. It created a shortage of Uber drivers. He said, so he got recruited by Uber because he was driving for another company. And he was like, it was the best move I made. So if it works, I'll never knock a person's choice to make $1 as long as it's an honest living. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then shit, it wouldn't be no Uber drivers if everyone thought like me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and the combination effect, right? I remember we were in an Uber. Me and Andre Hatchett was in an Uber in Dallas, and this man was like, well, Texas is cheating with taxes, and he was saying all this crazy stuff. We're like, wait a minute, brother, where are you from? California. I said, why don't you go back? Well, I don't want to live out there. I can't afford it. Okay, then, like you recognize what position you in, fully maximize it, and then choose your next step. You don't want to be a cranky Uber driver. You just want to be able to make your money how you want to make your money.
You make, listen, man, you do what you need to do to get where you need to get, right? Like for me, it was eliminating things that I was using. Y'all clowning me in the chat about having cable. Listen, man.
Listen, they got funny.
I had Verizon. I was paying a lot. I had the good service. But I mean, again, this is just me. Hey, we need high-speed internet. We need this, we need that. Okay, we can add the channels. And before you know it, it's a bundle. Before you know you're spending money. It is what it is. And not trying to come off a little pompous or anything, but when you got it, you don't think about it like that, right? You just think about, okay, my family's good. I don't have to worry about it. But then I started looking at the layers like, damn, like, we don't even watch this shit. Let's sign up for one of these online services.
There's 5 BETs right now.
Man, and they play the same thing.
No, they different. I was at my mama's house like, you got 5 BETs over here. BET Her, it's all the girl movies and Madeira movies. Then you got BET Soul, it's actually half decent. Got some cooking shows. But a lot of times people ain't watching that. My nephews watch the same. He watched On Demand. He is 6 years old. He know how to put the button, type in what Batman, Spider-Man movie he want to watch, and that's it. Like, he don't watch all them channels.
And like my son watches YouTube all day. Like he pulls up, he watches your videos, right? He'll go on YouTube. If he's into a certain topic, he pulls it up. Like he doesn't even watch TV like that. As long as he has internet, he's fine, right? So what happens is it's kind of like our parents when they bought homes in the 90s and the 80s. It was normal to have a house with a 10% interest rate, right? Because that was the rate. So when 2004 or 5 came and you're telling your parents you should refinance, and then they're seeing people lose their house, they're like, no, I'm gonna play it safe, right? Like we tend to do what we know. So for me, it was just like, but then after a while, I'm like, no, I can't get where I want to be doing what I've always done. And that's the whole get away from people. I'm gonna tell everyone watching this right now. Think about somebody right now that's in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s, that's close to you. And look at their life. Chances are your life is going to be just like theirs if you don't put yourself in a position to get what you want to get. And that's not a knock, but that's just who we are. We're the 5 closest people around us, right? Yep. The people that you see the most are who you essentially become. That's why a lot of people that come to this channel, they look at themselves a little bit different because they're getting the information, getting the knowledge. And when they get around their people look at them like they're different. It's like, I'm no different than you. I just have the discipline. And when I sit down with my clients, I tell them, look at the 5 people around you. Look at people in all those age groups and tell me what they're doing with their life. And they'll tell me, I'm like, now, and I'll say, is that what you want to be doing 20 years from now, 30 years? And they're like, damn, I never thought about it like that. But that's what's going to happen. We just had the 20-year anniversary for September 11th yesterday, right? That was 20 years ago.
A long time. I was in high school watching on TV and they made us sit down.
But it's like it was yesterday, right? So 20 years can go by that fast. Just imagine how quick 20 years can come. Like at some point in the game, you're going to have to stop doing what you're doing and get on a different route. You know what I'm saying? If you're really trying to be about it. And that's what I teach people. For 3 to 5 years, if you can just sacrifice what you've always done temporarily, you can live the rest of your life the way you want to live without worrying about shit.
Yeah.
What's the one mean? Am I missing something?
No. I tell them if they enjoy the content, want to keep talking about
the one. That's what I'm talking about, man.
So he said, what about them thighs, Rick Ross? Talking about when you're tricking off on food.
Hey, listen, this ain't no plug, but I don't have no issue. We got this spot in Dallas called Williams Chicken, man. Oh, man, I used to tear them tenders up. Now I'm kind of eating a little better now. So, I've been on the pescatarian, gang. And my sister made a joke. She was like, man, it's a chicken shortage right now. I was like, I ain't know. But yeah.
The big thing too for me is when you start changing, people start to act funny. That's part of why people are scared to change, right? So there's a Black couple in Dallas and they paid off their house and everything. I think in under 7 years. I think it's 7 years. I'm thinking it is. But they were kind of on that Dave Ramsey, right? And they had neighbors that were like their best friends. They cook out every weekend together. They grill out every weekend, just living it up. He said if we could have cut a hole in the fence and us could talk to each other every day, we would do it. And when they finally paid off their house, it's like their neighbors quit talking to them.
Yeah, because it's
like the same time they've been talking about this thing, like, hey, y'all should just make extra payments to pay your house off. Oh yeah.
everybody. Listen, man. Everybody ain't gonna feel you. Like, the people closest to you will never be the people who support you and who big you up when you do something. And that's just human nature. When I was selling real estate heavy, I used to always kind of go on rants like, oh, my friends, the people that I love, they're not buying houses from me and shit. And then I realized, like, the people closest to you don't make you a millionaire. They'll never make you a millionaire because they don't want to see you come up. You got those one or two cousins, maybe your mom, whoever. That's my baby. Like when I wrote my book, I used to call my mom the dope woman, man. She would come and get a brick of books and then she would take them and sell them. And hey, I got the money. I need more books, right? But that's my mom, right? But for the most part, then outside of my household that I grew up with, people in my family weren't really fucking with me like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it just was what it was. And I used to feel some kind of way. Then I thought that's human nature. Like people don't want to see in you what they're unwilling to see in themselves.
Or it's a mirror. It's like
It's like
our neighbor we've been grilling out and cooking out with, and they done had the same car for 7 years, paid their house off, and we living right beside them in the same exact expensive house in Dallas. And now you can't complain about the house being expensive. You know what I'm saying? You can't complain about the same stuff no more. A big thing for me is when I go eat with people or talk with people, and they still, I'm gonna just go there because I'm a woman. We're gonna have a woman moment. Girl, these men ain't nothing, and they ain't acting right out here. I'm like, now you've been saying this for 4 years, sis. Is it possible it's you?
What Mama Payne say on Martin? If it smell like day-old cabbage everywhere you go, damn it, it's you.
It's you. I was like, come on now,
I was
girl.
in the military. I had somebody, drill sergeant, tell us, if one person tell you one person call you a horse, they're crazy. If 2 people call you a horse, they conspiring. If 3 people call you a horse, damn it, get you a saddle, right?
It's tough, and you're never a prophet in your own town. What is the thing in the Bible? You're never
a prophet in your own land. That's why I'm always threatening to move. I threaten, of course I can't move now because I sit in a seat.
You're rooted there.
Zoning commissioner here, so and I enjoy what I do. I love my community. But eventually I'm moving, man. I really enjoy DC. My wife loves Atlanta. We actually looked at moving to Georgia a couple of years ago. I love North Carolina. I love Charlotte. I met those guys at your event that were telling me about Virginia Beach and what was the other area where the truck tire guys were from?
Richmond, Vermont.
Richmond. Yeah, man. I've been looking up Richmond. So, but you're never going to be a prophet in your own land. But what that means in today's day and age, just like people were getting on to me about the cable, you don't necessarily have to leave where you live. You can just expand the way you market and who you market to outside. I'll go to an event and speak, and it's like people are, they love what I have to offer. They love what I'm saying. They don't know me personally. They know what I'm bringing to the table, and they can look me up and see what I've done. Whereas I can go to the barbershop and have these same conversations with the same people in the barbershop every week. And man, we love what you're saying, but they never implement it, right? Because I'm just Timmy from around the corner, right? So get out of your comfort zone and forcefully put yourself around people that's doing shit. That's why we're having this event in Dallas on the 17th, this Friday, as a matter of fact, for those who are watching before September 17th, for those who are watching after, follow me on Instagram, and then you'll see our future events. But the purpose of this event is to bring different people into a room to have these conversations that we need to have and be transparent and not feel like we need to judge each other and come up with a plan, right? And so, I mean, you got to have these conversations, and you got to expose where you're lacking. If you're going through life and wanting to look perfect all the time and not wanting people to think you don't have your shit together, then you're going to coast through life looking good, but not having your shit together. It's just that simple.
Listen, mistakes make us relatable, right? Why do some of those football stars, people just want to tear them down? They want to tear them down, right? Because they haven't had any mistakes. So, I use this example. Russell Wilson, just was like the golden boy for a while there. Then he got a divorce and he picked up Sierra. And, Russell ain't never been talked about as much by the black community until he got with Sierra. Do you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes if people think you made a mistake or they make you doing something different, gives them something to talk and makes them engage with you. And so a lot of times when we have these, let's just be honest, Dave Ramsey is dry. That's why he has to bring on so many different people, because he be spicy talking to people. You know what I'm saying? And I like spicy talking to people, but he brings all those different people like Anthony.
It's cool, but you don't run up on the wrong person. See, where I'm from, it's about respect where I'm from.
For sure.
And I wouldn't talk to somebody like, and my man, we got to my man with the comedy, said my divorce and bankruptcy taught me about what I need to live on. I'm debt free now, 1 year from a pension retirement. Should I buy a home in full no mortgage? I wouldn't be like, oh man, I wouldn't talk to him crazy. I don't know this dude, right? You know what I'm saying?
I like the hat though.
Huh?
I like his hat.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, but Ramsey, man, he be going in on people, and it's just like, where I'm from, man, it's about respect. Like you can show tough love and show respect too, and that's why in our community, you got to think about the people calling his show. Hi, my name is Johnny, and I just graduated college, and my parents left me a piece of property that's worth $120,000. What do you think I should do, Dave? Like, ain't no black people calling the show with them types of problems of having a house that was willed to them, or
some of the people that call need the tough love,
right? And they do. But what I'm saying is, in our community, we don't really have that as much because of the wealth gap and because of just everything, And so people are afraid to talk about it because for most of us, for a lot of people, like you miss a month's worth of pay, that's a wrap, And I saw it when I worked in corporate, when I worked in banking.
What was that time when was it the government shut down?
Yeah.
And you saw people were like, hey, and I'm like, government employees making all this money and they having a problem. So I just want to, sorry, but go ahead.
Listen, man. Like a lot of people right now, they don't have 6 months worth of reserve. Mm-hmm. They're living from paycheck to paycheck. They make good money, but all their money is going towards bills. That's why counsel culture is what it is. The whole purpose of counseling somebody is to destroy them economically.
Yep.
Right? To put them in a position where they can't earn a dollar, but more importantly, where they can't pay their current bills. So you bankrupt them, right? But see, a lot of people aren't in positions to where they can say, well, that's fine. You can counsel me. I'm good. I still have other stuff going on. I got money coming in. So kick rocks. And the average person, if they lose a month's worth of income or 2 months worth of income, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So no one likes to have that conversation out loud because people want to come across as having their shit together. Yeah. But we got to get out of that mentality. When you go into a room with other groups of people, they talk about this shit openly. Mm-hmm. Talk about, hey man, I'm investing in this, I'm doing this, doing that. A lot of times we keep it to ourselves, or when we see a person within our community that's doing it big or doing something nice, then we want to question everything they're doing and how
you get that money. Where's it coming from?
Rick always posts, where is JJ getting all this cash? Right? So like I don't believe in the struggle ministry, man. Like I don't believe that we should live a life of struggle. Like damn that. Like I want to put myself in a position where I got money and I can do what I want to do. I may not show you all I'm doing because that's just not who I am. I'm not
none of your business.
Ain't none of your business. But I don't believe in that struggle stuff. Like, no, we not living paycheck to paycheck over here. We not doing that. Mm-hmm. Like if my son has a sporting event or I want to be there. I want to be involved at his school. I want to be able to fly out of town during the week to take on a business meeting or do this. Like I want to be able to get on the plane and go out of the country and just relax without having to worry about shit going bad for me. And everyone wants that, but people aren't really doing what they need to do. And that's where that changes. But that's where the boy come in.
It's hard to be transparent too, because we've got one guy, he's over in Spain right now, but he didn't tell anybody he left. He just posted pictures after he's been over there a while. People are like, oh man, he in Spain. How you get all this money? And it's like, he's been consistently showing you how he runs his business from the computer, from the laptop. And it's like, it's tough to be transparent in our community because everybody assaults you, right? And then when you try to
come at you sideways, like it's a catch-22, Ericka, because it's like, take a guy like me. I'm not the flashiest guy in the world. Like I said, where I come from, you don't show your money, you grow your money. Like, when you come around, when you come around certain places and you show off, like people get at you. So, a lot of times it's a double-edged sword. So if you're the type of person that is quiet and don't like to show stuff, then people don't validate you, right? They'll say, well, how does he know about this? Because he's not pulling up in a Range Rover, he's not pulling up in this, or he doesn't live in a 5,000 square foot house. So how can he talk to me about money? When your average millionaire lives in a middle-class neighborhood and drives a Toyota, right? You know what I'm saying? So then on the flip side of that, then if you start pulling up in the foreign whips and, flashy, showing off your shit, then people are like, well, what is he doing? Who does he think he is, right? And we got to get out of that mentality of, one, pocket watching people, and two, not being judgmental or feeling some kind of way because a certain person is trying to teach us something. Like, I don't care who it is. If you got the knowledge, if you have what it takes to tell me what I need to do to get where I need to be, I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna put my personal feelings aside and I'm gonna listen to you. I bought courses from people who I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, personally, I don't like their politics or I don't like the way they move, but the content is the content, Ericka.
That's right. Y'all like my little free avatar I had for you when I left.
Man, I saw that. But that it is what it is. Like, you do you, man. Like,
I just like messing with people. Go ahead.
You do you, man. I don't care about that. I'm an independent, so I don't really fool with any of them. So, I'm as biased as they come. I like some of them, I don't like some of them. But
I want people thinking. That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna answer this guy.
We have a YouTube page. If you go to my Instagram at Tim Jackson now, click on my link tree, it's there. Or if you just type in Tim Jackson, real dope. What is it? What am I? Tim Jackson now on YouTube. You should be able to find it. It's new. Ericka helping me get my weight up.
We're gonna have to beat his legs, y'all, because I want him to be working on it more. So I'm gonna answer this guy's question. Big Mag the Fisher. Now you cleared your divorce, your bankruptcy got you straight, you know all your numbers. Here's what my opinion. Tim may have something different. My opinion is the best thing I've seen for African American men here in Texas and in North Carolina is when they know that what their numbers gonna be in retirement. Now they don't go all the way to the line, but they buy within it, right? And so what I've seen here in Killeen, in Temple, and in North Carolina is a black man that buy his house on the way out of retirement, and really all he doing is chilling because he already knows how much his structured budget is going to be. So for me, I'm not saying buy the home with no mortgage. I would just say buy reasonably. Don't buy too much house. Just buy reasonably and live well off the pension you have. So unless you're just stacking 150 somewhere. You just want to do that. But Tim, would you like to give him an answer?
Get your house. Do what you need to do to get your piece of property. Let me tell y'all something. Rent never goes down. I don't give a damn what your market looks like. If you got the best market in the world, if houses are overpriced, or if ain't shit selling, rent never goes down. All right? Get you some property. Hold on to it. House hack it if you can. If it's a double or duplex or something like that, or move into it and then move out, let somebody move into it and you find you something else. Rent never goes down. Find a spot right now in your city where the rent has gone down. The rent never goes down.
It's a crack house. That's it.
It never goes down. In the areas where, I hate the term gentrified, but in areas where things are being gentrified, rent's going up. Because you know what I'm saying? Like it's a crack house now, then it's gonna be painted all white with them gentrified numbers on them. Those numbers they all put on there with the wooden door.
Oh, I love those. I love those.
People from out of town don't know what's the hood. They move from out of town into places where we would never move,
and they don't even care
the value. And then they see the neighborhood's changing, and we hollering gentrification.
Gentrified.
I've been trying to tell people. I made a post yesterday on Instagram. I said I've been telling people to buy in South Dallas, West Dallas, East Dallas, Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff for the last decade. And you know what they said to me? Don't nobody want to live there. You don't have to live there. I just want you to own it.
Listen.
Now you can't even get in there. And now they calling me, you got any of them houses available? Man, get off my phone, man. That's why I retired.
Yeah, I got on a consulting call and I said, where do you live? And I started typing in her numbers. I said, well, what's the price point? So I type in the price point on realtor.com. I looked up, guess where it was at? Oak Cliff. This is like 3 years ago, and I was on this phone call with this woman. She's like, oh, I don't want to live over there. It's bad over there. I said, well, you ain't got no kids, right? No, all my kids are grown. I just got grandkids. So it's just you, right? What's the problem? Now, 3 years later, I'm pretty sure she can't find nothing over there for that price.
Listen,
I'm pretty
man,
sure ain't nothing over there.
they got these window shades now that are like burglar bars, right? I tell people, get you what Ericka call it, get you a pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
Get you some burglar bars. They got these shades. They look like window shades, but they're actually burglar bars. You know, HOAs are actually approving these things because they're security, shades. Get you a nice little door, lock your shit up, and call it a day. Like, because 5 years from now, that's not going to be the game. The game is going to be, that house we bought in South Dallas, we paid $23,000 cash for it. We held on to that house for 2 years. We stripped it down to the stud, didn't do anything. It was worth $75,000. Now we've renovated. This is a couple years ago. We renovated it completely. The first year renovation, it was worth $150. Now we get calls and letters every single day. I could sell that house for $180, between $180 to $200 right now. Am I selling it? No, because it's a 5-minute walk from the State Fair of Texas. It's right outside of a train stop. There's bike lanes right across the street. There's a hospital annex and a dentist annex right there. I ain't ever selling that piece of property. Never. Ever. Oh. I didn't even have a tenant in it, and it was nothing. The house was bare bones for 2 years, and we just paid the taxes on it. We got letters every day. We'll buy your house. I've gotten calls. Me and my wife get a call in that house every day. No, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. Get into an area like that. Get you some burglar bars or get you some burglar shades. As Ericka say, get that pew pew, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, because truth be told, man, I ain't never had my car broken into until I moved to Plano.
You know why they did that, right?
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm just saying, listen, here in Hutto, Pflugerville, and what's that town? Shit. Yeah, Hutto, Pflugerville, and this other part, where all this new home construction is, and people leave their cars unlocked because they just think they live in Mayberry. A group of like 5 dudes went and hit 90 cars this past week. And you can see from the ring cameras, that's all they did. They walked up to the door and pulled the handle. If it opened, they got it, cleaned it out. If it was locked, they went on about their way.
That's how somebody got me one time. Somebody got me like that. They actually caught the dude, and I had that pew pew on the inside of the car. I parked my truck in the front. It was weird how it happened. It was in the summertime. We just got back from out of town. I think we just got back from Cuba. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. Somebody knocked on my door, and I went to the window. I'm like, "Who's there?" "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just seeing if you had any foil." I said, "I'm gonna bake your ass. You don't get off my porch." So the next night, somebody broke in my truck, and it was some kids. I call them kids. They were 18, 19. But what happened was they ended up getting caught. Had it on them, and the cops caught them. And I get this call one night at like 11 o'clock at night, like, "Hey, Mr. Jackson." I'm like, "Man, who is this?" Said, "Well, I want to let you know, this is such and such police department. We found the guy who stole your stuff." But the point I'm making is I was living in an area with an HOA when that happened. So all this, I don't want to move back to the hood stuff. Man, that's that hatred towards yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna put it this way. I will say, when I lived in the house with the 2 other white girls, and we were off Runberg in Austin, Texas, bought the house for $280. A year and a half later, she sold it for $400,000. Nobody bothered us over there. They didn't come on that street. You know why? Because the retiree black people that were over there, they would clean up the yards. They walking out all day, strollers. They looking out the window. Hey, what's up? People, when you going about your business, going about your day, riffraff ain't trying to come over there.
And that's how my neighborhood is. Like, it's just a bunch of older retired. Like, my neighborhood has a mix, young millennials and older retired people. These older retired people, like, one day my wife didn't close the back door. We went out of town, and we have a security door on the back door, because I live, where I live at. It's one of those areas where it's nice, but then it's hood too, you know what I'm saying? So, the wind blew it open, our main door open. And so it cracked, alarm goes off, we get the notification. Call my neighbor across the street, older lady. I look up the cameras. It wasn't even, she beat the police over there, right? And she's like, "Yeah, man, your door just cracked open, So I see it's open.
And you told your wife, "Who left that door open?"
Yeah, right? And so, but my thing is, like, you get to know your neighbors. You move in, You become a little friendly. You see what it is, because those are people that's gonna be watching out for your house. My neighbor next door travels a lot. And every time he gets ready to leave, he's like, Tim, we're going out of town. Like, can you watch out? Of course I can. But here's the thing, though, man, like right around the corner from my house is like low income housing. You understand what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. But our property value has gone up significantly. I'll just say that in the last 3 years. Yeah, significantly. Right. So you gotta 3 to 5 years. If you try to get where you're trying to be, 3 to 5 years. We've been over here for 3 years, going on 4 years. And we have a lot of equity in our property. A lot of equity in our property.
Always. If you can buy. To this day, I still am regretting not buying that house for $135,000. It sold less than 3 years later for $285,000. I don't even know what it is now, but I know it would be worth $300,000. And that was in the span of 5 years. So 3 to 5 years. Everybody don't live in Austin, Texas, but I promise you, where you live, it's that. Now, Iman Perry put here, yep, your celebrity loving. Y'all celebrities live in paycheck to paycheck. I want y'all to understand, most celebrities don't get paid a bunch off royalties. They get paid off touring.
They don't get paid anything off royalties. They get paid off of their performance. That's why you see so many people performing so much. Right? They don't get paid off of those contracts. I know, because I work with entertainers. I have professional athlete clients, you know. Their money is in, you know, the endorsement. You understand what I'm saying? And the shows, especially if you're a singer or an actor, actress or actor, like you got to get out on the road. You understand what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing about that. When they do get their money, a lot of them don't have the knowledge to put the money somewhere else. So they won't trust a Tim Jackson because, you know, I'm from where they're from, right? And again, you know, a lot of people don't like to have anything in common with people they grew up with, right? Well, then they'll go give their money to these people in Hollywood or wherever who are just screwing them over, right? So then they end up broke. I ain't gonna put nobody out there, but I got a few clients that was doing some big things and now they broke because they went out there and was living that life. And it's just like, all you had to do was buy you a couple of houses and you'd be straight.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, I went to a mastermind and I was in there thinking, they're gonna tell me something deep, Tim. I'm like, they about to break my mind with the deepness. The guy's like, some of y'all got businesses. Y'all gonna make maybe $500,000 max, $300,000 max. Go buy some rentals and chill out. Just keep marketing your business. And you know, some of the guys in there are like, I'm like, he right. Because I can look back and see year after year, if I'd have just took that money and did ABC, something else with it.
Man, you kicking me in the ass right now. I always tell people, one of the biggest mistakes I feel like I made was when I was in Alaska. I didn't buy any real estate.
Man, it's so hard in Alaska too. And
then also I bought a new car every 3 years. Me and my nephew sat down and we just added up all the money I spent on cars over a 10-year period. I was telling him I could be a millionaire 10 times over if I just wasn't buying cars. If I would have took that same money and invested it somewhere else. And $1 million, you know, the target for a lot of people is $1 million. If we can just keep it real, $1 million really isn't a lot of money. You know, my California clients will tell you that, right? Depending on where you're at, it's just not a lot of money, right? But getting multiple $1 million that's coming in every year, then you're talking, right? But you have to think about the mentality of what it is you want to do. Like, if I want to go out and buy a $25,000 Rolex right now, I can do that. Okay. But I would prefer to go out and find a person that's trying to get rid of a $25,000 house. That was the mentality for me 3-4 years ago, right? We got this 25. What we gonna do with it? We gonna buy a house, or we gonna go trick it off, right? Or in our case, what we did, me and my wife had lump sums of money, whether it was through flips or whatever. Okay, let's go invest in trucks. Let's go do this over here. Let's like make the money work for you. And some of the investments wasn't shit, right? Let's just call it what it is. Some of paid off. I was able to meet people. My man Keith that's in the chat. I met Keith, you know, I believe on a platform like this. And then he ended up buying real estate here. And so through Keith, I was able to meet other people that are out of state that are buying properties in the area. When I'm talking about when the getting was good in Texas, when you could buy a property for $115,000 here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start connecting with people because you're on a different plane. Now you're in a different mindset. Now you're getting out of your comfort zone. Now you're meeting people who actually want to do this shit. And now that 6 figures isn't so hard to reach. Because once you hit 6 figures, it's like, all right, I got to get 7 now, right? Then you hit 7 figures, it's like, okay, I need to get another, 0 with that comma, right? And then you start scaling up more. And then once you have everything working for you, then you can trick off. Then I can go out to eat every day.
Texas Roadhouse, baby. Listen,
you know what I'm saying? I can
that man spoiled me, so now I'm like, anybody want to go to Texas Roadhouse?
In conclusion now, right? Somebody said they're looking for several properties. Start with one property.
See, here's the thing.
Change our life.
One at a time. Listen, I know somebody right now in Austin with 2 properties. And guess what they did? They converted them to Airbnbs, and they ain't bought no more properties. They just enjoying the return.
One property changed my life. One property changed my life. And I tell people that, you don't need a lot. What happens is we think that we need to manage a lot. Don't overdo it. Someone said, how did I retire? I got the fuck out of debt. That's simple. I got the fuck out of debt and let my assets.
And then you got to choose. You got to choose. Tim paid off his debt, y'all, and then he got to choose. He said, this real estate market is crazy.
I got to choose.
I ain't got time. I'm backing off.
That's it, man. It's not even magic or rocket science. I got out of debt. Asia, Israel. I'm sorry, Ms. Green. If I said it wrong, I apologize. I got out of debt.
BK from the Rockies. Email me that link. I put my email in the chat. One of my emails. Hopefully the VA don't take it. Email me that.
I put the link in the chat as well. Appreciate you, BK from the Rockies. But listen, get out of debt. That's where it starts. That's where it starts, y'all. I got into some trouble on Facebook because I said we need to stop sending our kids to college for liberal arts degrees. And man, they tore my ass up, Ericka. You
already know.
And I said we need to stop sending our kids to college for. I have a liberal arts degree, by the way. I'm a history major, right? I got a master's in history, so it's like
history major. What you gonna do? Teach school?
Yeah, I guess, right? Won't nobody hire my black ass. I applied, what I'm saying? I guess they see my social media content and say, hey, he might be teaching that critical race shit. But I'm just saying, we go to school, we can't, we gotta stop tricking our kids to go to school to get these degrees. That's not gonna really be much later, right? Have them minor in that degree. Have them major in something that's gonna be some science, technology, engineering, and math, right? Nursing or something, and then have a minor in English, right? They can get out the same amount of time, but a lot of people send their kids off to school for the college experience or to go to their alma mater, and then these kids come back with $150,000 worth of debt, and they can't get nothing but a $30,000 job, and it's like, why aren't we teaching them more about trades? Why aren't we teaching them more about jobs that are going to be high paying, right? Well, they told me up on social media when I said that.
Listen,
it's the truth.
Also, I'm gonna go there, and I know the Black community hates when I go there. Marriage. Every single person that I saw went to college that got married on the way out the door, when they wanted to make career moves, career decisions, change, they had somebody else there with them walking down the path. So you'd be like, girl, you got a new career. Yeah, girl, my husband said I can switch. And if you was a single woman, you couldn't just switch your jobs like that. You couldn't just change your whole career. You didn't have that runway. See, that part, the Black community don't want to hear about that. When you go to college, it ain't just for you to party and get trashed down for 5 years. That's really not what it's about.
Marriage is a business.
And also, where are you going to partner off at the highest rate? College.
Marriage is a business. Me and my wife, we talk candidly about that. Don't marry for love. Love fades.
Now. Come on now.
Don't fall for the okey-doke. You know what I'm saying? Don't marry with your heart. No, just kidding. I'm not kidding when I say that. Marriage is a business. And you need to marry someone that's going to build you. Me and my wife got together. We was shacking up. We were living in sin.
Oh my God.
And so I told her, I said, hey, I need 6 months. I said, I'd never, I had my own house. I was renting it out. I had another spot I was living in. She had moved into this really, really nice high rise downtown. And I went to visit her one day and I got on the elevator and saw all these big swole dudes on the elevator. I was like, oh, hell no, I got to move down here. And so But jokes aside, I said, you know what? I'm getting ready to really launch this Tim Jackson Realty thing, and I need your support. And I said, give me 6 months. Let's move in together. Give me 6 months. We'll be married by the end of that. But if you give me 6 months, I'll put you in a position where you never have to work a day in your life, right? Mm-hmm. And what that means is you give me 6 months to give you all the leverage you need, mm-hmm. right? My wife is a very independent, smart woman who doesn't need me to make the money. She makes her own money. But what that was that flexibility. And mm-hmm. I kept my end of the bargain. So when she was working at a job that she couldn't stand, mm-hmm. she was able, I told her, tell people to kiss your ass and have a good day. And that's what she was able to do. She walked out and was like, I don't need this shit, And it ended up working out for her because during the time when she was coming to work with me every day, she found out what it was that she really wanted to do, and she pursued it with everything she had. But it's mm-hmm. because we had that leverage, mm-hmm. right, that she was able to do that. So I'm not knocking marriage, but I'm saying, you marry up, don't marry down, marry up. Find somebody that's on your level, that's got the same work ethic, that's gonna be about that shit with you. Don't get somebody that you gotta change. And you gotta buy all the clothes. Don't marry nobody to bring out the best of them. If the best ain't already came out of them, that shit ain't coming. All right.
They 37 and the best ain't there yet. It ain't coming, baby. You can't make it.
I want some love too. Listen. Love will come when the bills are paid. Most people get a divorce and they break up because the money be funny and the change be a little bit strange, right? You know what I'm saying? If me and my wife get mad at each other, I can take my ass on the other side of the house.
All the way over there. Thank you.
Sit up in one room together. I go over here, go upstairs, go around the corner. I'm on the other side of the house. I ain't got to hear if I don't want to, right? Just speaking, candidly. But then we get out our feelings and we back in the middle, right? But you don't marry nobody for no love. You marry their ass for some stability. Make sure they can balance you out.
Again, this message is
somebody said don't marry potential. Hey, listen. She said her bills paid. Well, listen, find somebody that got their bills paid too. You know what I'm saying? She walking by some around with
that little dog.
How that new car? Yeah.
Tell her bring that little dog out that eats special food.
You hear the little dog walking by. My wife just got she said, you talking all this, get the fuck out of that shit. I need a new car. I said, all right, I practice what I preach, right? And that's what we did. You understand what I'm saying? But I was able to get her what she needed because we don't have that. We don't have it. I don't have to get locked into something for a long period of time. I can just go knock it out and do what I need to do. Not because I'm trying to flex on anybody, but because we put ourselves in positions to where if we do get into debt, our assets are paying for it. We're not paying for that.
Right. There's 374 people here. Thank you guys so much for being on this channel. Hit the like button if you can. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Isaiah. Thank you for the $20 cash out. Shout out to you and Tim. BJ on the screen. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, so glad to find you, Ericka. You always bring on quality gems that keep us in the know by getting us 2 steps ahead. Love you guys. Great info, Tim. Tim is not from New York. He is from Dallas, Texas.
I'm from Dallas, Texas, baby. D-town. Hey, Eric, I emailed you my flyer too if you want to post it up and put it on the page for people who are in Dallas.
Okay, I will change it. Does he have a website? I'm interested in the book. Give your website. Say your link.
Absolutely. So if you guys go to my Instagram, if you guys are on there, literally my link is on my Instagram. But the book, if you go to www.realdopetim, like the book Real Dope Tim, you can get the book there as well. It's on Amazon Prime, as a matter of fact. So if you live in a prime area, you can get that thing tomorrow. 100% of the proceeds of the book go towards Real Youth Mentoring, which is our nonprofit organization. We teach young boys about leadership, entrepreneurship, give out a scholarship. We took our boys on a nice little trip a couple of years ago before the pandemic, took them to Atlanta, Memphis, and Birmingham, gave them the royal treatment. Out of 15 boys that went on this trip, came back, 10 of them were straight A students, and they're still straight A students. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to expose kids to things at an early age. So that's what this book is about. It's just telling you, compare real estate to the dope game in a funny way. If y'all have had a good time watching this or any of my videos, that's what my book is. My book is a bunch of, we keeping it real. We having a good time. It's entertaining. And it's a quick read. But definitely follow me on Instagram at Tim Jackson now. You guys, I'm about to take it to a different level. Ericka, do you have that flyer? Can you post it for me real quick on here?
I'm going to try. I'd have to share my screen.
No worries. But Yes, September 17th in Dallas at 7 o'clock p.m., which is this Friday. I'm hosting an event called 7 Ways to Eliminate Debt and Build Wealth. And I'm going to talk strategies on how we eliminated debt, how we build wealth, just how I do what I do, and then teaching people how to do it. Like, it just is what it is. We got to get out of that fake shit. And we just got to start approaching life the way we need to get what we need to get. 3 to 5 years, you can literally be wherever you want to be. Shout out to my man, Keith Reynolds, man. That's my guy.
I was trying to read off the super chat.
That's my guy in the Bay Area, man.
Red Amazon. So again, I want y'all to understand from the context, like, thank you for the $9, $10 super chat. She said, I'm on my way out the military, full pension benefits. That's right, girl. Get that old system. I'm looking at San Antonio. The houses are suspiciously recent.
Oh, let me talk about San Antonio.
I can't even finish reading it. There's something going on around there. No, it's called Texas. We cheat.
Listen. Red Amazon. I was in the Air Force, so I already have a special place in my heart for San Antonio. Like, San Antonio is literally one of my favorite cities in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just a vibe in San Antonio. If I didn't live in Dallas, I would be in San Antonio. If I were in Texas, I wouldn't go to any other city in Texas but San Antonio. The real estate there is cheap because it's just a lot of land. People don't realize the city of San Antonio is bigger than the city of Dallas. San Antonio is the second largest city in the state, but also San Antonio is a military town, and they've got several military bases. So a lot of the foolishness and the shit you see in big metropolis areas, you don't get that in San Antonio. You get like more of a small family vibe. One of my friends just moved down there. I got some really good real estate connects down there. If you're serious about buying, follow me on Instagram. Let's connect. I can put you in contact with somebody. Once you get approved, I ain't gonna be giving you my contacts for you to call down there and talk the ear off and shit, but once you get approved and you get ready. But San Antonio is where it's at. If I didn't live in Dallas and I had to move, that's where I would be. I love San Antonio. It's just a vibe.
I love it because it's a part of the hill country. But as far as like Austin and San Marcos, that's about it. That's about as far south as I go.
You know what, man? San Antonio is weird because it's just like I said, it's just a calm city. Like, ain't nobody, for lack of better words, y'all, I cuss. For lack of better words, don't nobody really be fucking with you in San Antonio. Like, I've been to every city in Texas, like every major city. I ain't never gotten no shit in San Antonio. I've never had nobody step on my shoe in the club. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody cut me off in traffic. Like, they just on their own. They got their own vibe in San Antonio. When I got stuck in San Antonio during the ice storm that we had earlier this year, I was actually in San Antonio when it happened. And the way their city ran everything down there, like, it was so well organized. I got back to Dallas and it was like chaos. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a military town, people fall in line and just do what they need to do to make sure things run. It's just a nice city. And I'll say that as a Dallas kid. And I ain't gonna put San Antonio over D-Town because that's home, but next to it. So no, you don't have to be suspicious of the price. That's just what it is. I would say go down there, spend the weekend, link up with a realtor, get you an approval letter so you can show them that you're serious, and go see houses for the weekend and see what you think about it.
I'd also like to say that visit Texas in the summer, middle of the summer, and visit also in the winter. Like, come visit. And also, Tim Jackson, his wife, drove right past my apartment and didn't bring me no food. I was out here.
It was ice storming.
Listen, I live off the highway, so I was like,
let me live that shit down, are you?
I do that to everybody, though. I have one of my cousins drove to Killeen and went. I was like, so you drove right past me? You didn't bring me nothing? And he's girl, bye.
Somebody asked me if I do crypto investing. I don't do crypto investing. That's not my lane. One thing you'll learn about me, if it ain't my lane, I don't even hardly speak on it. My nephew's into it, but for me, I just prefer a hard investment where I can pull up on somebody and, pull up on them and get my money if I need to.
John said he's headed to San Antonio. I don't pay property tax, getting a fourplex with a VA loan. A lot of houses in San Antonio need a lot of work. I'm going to just say like this, lefty. That's not actually true. There's actually like a ton of brand new housing in San Antonio that's like $165,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, brand new. You're not going to be downtown San Antonio. You're not going to be at the Alamo, but you're going to be in and around San Antonio. The same thing with
listen, San Antonio, it ain't a lot of black folks out there. We coming,
Oh, no, they was out there before. They kind of like.
Yeah, all the black people know each other in San Antonio.
It used to be 25%. San Antonio, I would say, used to be more black than Austin. And then San Antonio and Austin black people was like, we going to Houston. We out.
Yeah, most of the black people are military in San Antonio, but, but it's stay out there. I say that, you know, for the sake of finding a good barber or a good beautician.
Oh, that part. Listen, all the lovely men that have taken me on a date from San Antonio have been in the military. So
okay, I see you. Everybody gotta have a life too.
Listen, the person I'm dating now in real estate, they better act right or I might have to get back on the market. Okay, so San Antonio is a great place to live. Houses are cheaper, yes. Yep. Y'all got a lot in here. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm trying to respect Tim's time, you know.
Oh no, I gotta go. I'm good. I'm going to go introduce one of my clients is doing some big stuff. She's actually we're releasing her book today, so I'm gonna go help her do that today. And then after that, I'm coming back to the house. I'm gonna post my link for my link tree in the comments as well. If that's cool.
Yeah, send it to me too, also in the private chat thing, and I'll share it just in case it's blocking you, because it'd be YouTube blocking everything. Okay, so this said, DC Johnson said, the options, freedom, and power that comes from being without a debt is astounding. I would say this. Can I say this first? Just know your numbers. Like a lot of times I get on people's phone, they don't even know. If I say, hey, how much debt you in right off the top of your head? They don't know. Like,
I can tell you down to the penny what I have based on what my assets are bringing in. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, I can tell you down to the penny.
Listen, I used to check the accounts every day, and people are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." It's not. Trust me.
Shit, like, I got my alerts set up on my account every day. You better know your numbers. They'll be talking about, "Oh, somebody hacked my account." I'm like, "When was the last time you checked?" I check my accounts like 3 times a day. All of them.
I'll be like, "You full of it." I'll never believe nobody when they say somebody got me. You got alerts to your phone?
Tricking in Vegas for the weekend. That's what you was doing.
Somebody said they paid off $90,000 in debt in 17 months.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Congratulations on that.
Focus. Tyler Bennett, don't you come in here with that black pill talk.
What do you say?
You know, the marriage haters come up in here. Marriage is very helpful. My dad told me, Keith Reynolds said, my dad told me if you go to college, get a degree that involves math.
Hey, Keith, listen, man. My son, he's excelling in math really well right now. And I've explained to him, put in his head, you need something with math or you need to go to law school, man. Like, that's it. Like, not, you know, my wife is an educator and she'll tell you, hey, don't go to school to be no educator. You can go get a minor in that, but you don't get a major in something with math, right? So if you become an educator, at least you want to get more because the science and math teachers make more or something bilingual.
Did you know that for Black people, if the first generation parent went to school for education, the second generation goes for science or math? They've been tracking it. And it's because that mom and dad from the 80s probably was like, don't do that. You better get something with some math in.
Hey, Cooper, you absolutely right about that. I got the fuck up out of debt. I decreased my expenses. It was amazing when I sat up and looked at how much money I was tricking off.
When you use the word tricking off, QuickBooks will hurt your feelings, okay? So I go on QuickBooks and I've been making sure checking all my numbers. QuickBooks, you be like, man, I ain't made no money this month. QuickBooks be like, you ate $1,500 at restaurant.
Man,
you're a liar.
QuickBooks, man,
you're
but
a liar.
You need that. So, Whitney said, if I came married for love, at least he can be handsome. Nah, man, beauty fades. People can get surgeries now. You better get with you somebody that got their shit together.
He ain't gotta have a hairline. Don't be over that. Y'all so funny. Let me tell you.
These comments, it's out, the comment section be on point, man.
They be wilding. They crack me up. There you go. Congratulations. Get that. They said no. I lived off my GI Bill housing allowance and used all my salary from work to pay it off. Budget.
That's a lick. That's a house hack. That's a house hack. Why you think I got a master's degree?
Yeah.
That's a hack. If you have that available to you.
Tim, can she reach out to you there? Is there a way to, or just answer the question, however you feel?
She said, my husband and I have a few problems in the DFW area. Where can I find information making it in a business and saving our taxes? Come to my event. Let's have a conversation. I have a few good attorneys that can help you with that. And I could probably recommend you to a couple of accountants as well. You definitely want to protect your assets and protect your business, so come to my event. It's coming up Friday. If not, follow me on social media, link up with me on social media.
Ericka, come to the event.
Come to the event.
Pull up.
Yeah, and we only got a few more tickets left, but come to the event, get in the room with some people. I can connect you with some people on that. I mean, you want to protect your assets. You definitely want to protect your assets. So nobody gets divorced and asks for their love back. Never.
They always want the money part. Okay.
Give me that money, man.
Where's it? Somebody had it. They said thank you so much.
Hey, you welcome, Miss Hughes. You welcome. Listen, man, this is what we do, man. We got to make it fun. You know, it's just so boring when you're talking about this topic. Like nobody really breaks it down from a real perspective, or they be bullshitting you. They be high side and talking about they doing this, doing that. Then 3-4 years later, you find out they bullshitting, and it's like then you already don't trust people to have this conversation, and then when you find out they full of it, it's like, oh, it just makes you not want to trust them. I'll tell people all day long, I live well, okay. I'm not on vacation. I'm not out here fronting on nobody. I'm not. Eventually, there's some things that I'm gonna have when the time comes. But right now, man, I'm living modest and with no debt, and I'm stacking and I'm building. And that's a part of the process, y'all. You have to have a part in your life when you stack and build, stack and build, stack and build, reinvest, stack and build. Because once it comes together, that's it. That's it. That's how I was able to step away and retire. And now I'm shooting the documentary. Now I'm going into a whole different career field based on what I did for 3 to 5 years. Right? Man. I can sit down and interview. We got the rapper Little Kiki is in my documentary. We're interviewing people that are people that you're gonna know. Like that shit that ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? You have to, and it's not some janky, two left shoe production, like I'm putting it together so that you'll feel like it's a real movie. Like it ain't cheap, but what I had to do was I had to stack and do my stuff for 3 to 5 years. And then once I got that out of the way, now I can go invest in the things that I really want to invest in. I can take time off during my week to come speak with Ericka. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just flexibility. That's what not having debt does for you. It gives you flexibility.
And here's the thing. A lot of y'all, I'm going to just say this. When I'm on phone calls or when I'm in my class, a lot of y'all are trying to out-earn bad decisions. At some point, you have to stop, look at the decision, and determine, okay, it's going to take us 2 years plus to get out of this bad decision. So what's the math we need from there, right? Because honestly, I've told you this, Tim, like between my rent, that's all I got, rent and my office stuff, right? Any other debt I have is business related. Because personally, I just lived so cheaply. Any debt I have at this point right now is business related. That's it.
That's it, man. We got to stop hustling for the cherry on top and start hustling for the cake. You understand what I'm saying? Like we hustle backwards, and I hustled backwards for nearly a decade. I made so much money. I traveled a lot. I had access to stuff. And then somebody's like, whatever happened to that? But like people were telling me about like how we used to go to the club and spend money at the club and shit. I done probably put some strippers through school. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't putting no strippers through school. But, like going to the club and just tricking off money, and it's just like, I can't write that off on my taxes, right? Like I could have taken that money and invested in some box trucks. And could be running Amazon routes. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was DHL. I'm dating myself, right? I could have been running them DHL routes. There's so much I could have been doing, but I was looking good. You know what I'm saying? That feeling of that, being able to pull up on somebody, be like, yeah, I'm just 30 and I'm doing this and that. It's just like, that's not currency. Yeah. That's clout. And clout isn't currency. So Dale, I don't mind walking in the room. Like I'm laughing and joking with you because this is the platform. But when I walk into a room, I don't say shit. I sit back and I listen. I observe. Don't have to. I don't have to. I listen to people. I hear what they have to say, and I hear the same stories. Everyone thinks that they need to go out there and reinvent the wheel, and you don't. Oh my God! Yes. Get out of debt. Start with getting out of debt.
Sharon asked, what's the best data for base to use a budget? I'm always gonna say QuickBooks as a business owner. Another thing is mint.com. And honestly, I grew up watching my military mother bust out a green accounting notebook. You can buy, I used to be able to buy them at Office Depot. And she would write first and the 15th, her military paycheck, write all her bills out. I saw that for years. And so when we lived in neighborhoods where we had a 2-car garage, the 2-story home, 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, backyard is facing a lake. people in the neighborhood was like, what is that woman doing? She must be getting alimony. She just got divorced. How does she have that house? How was she able to buy that? It's because my mom managed her money. She wrote her numbers down. It is not as complicated as we make it seem. The reason the envelope money trick works when you have cash, because when the cash is gone, you're done. That's just simple as it is.
Yeah, and you know what, man? Yeah, that's real. Like I ain't gonna even. There's nothing to say about that. Like that's real. You need to know your numbers. QuickBooks is the go-to. I actually built out a spreadsheet. I'm really good at building spreadsheets. Mm-hmm. You know, so I built out a budget spreadsheet that we have, but QuickBooks is pretty good.
Thank you, Better with Time. She supported us. She, super chatted her question. Thank you for the $25. We appreciate you. Definitely come by.
Come to my event. Come holler at me. A lot of the classy climb, they fool with Tim Jackson. Like, come rock with me. That's a good question. I mean, you got to do what's best for you. In my opinion, when I see people leave their area and go somewhere else they don't know, they become a little bit more hungrier. Mm-hmm. Find a way to get out of those debts if you can. But I mean, I live in Dallas, so it's cheap here. At least it has been. It ain't cheap no more. But I didn't, going back and forth to California because my family's from Northern California. I would see the difference in living. So I always told myself I want to live in the South. Unless it's Hawaii, I'll move to Hawaii. But I want to live.
Hawaii's nice.
That's the only place I'll live that's over the top expensive. But it's Hawaii. But I would say go somewhere where it's cheap, where it's up and coming, and where you can make your mark because people love new faces.
You know what? And the energy.
Hey,
when you move to a new place, a new city, the energy, you getting a different vibe, you getting a mindset. Like when I used to talk about YouTube back home, people look at me like I'm crazy. I come here to Austin, people like, yeah, tell me about it. Be at the bar, drunk as hell. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
People in Dallas weren't really fooling with me like that. Then they start seeing me on the news and start seeing me all around. When I was on TMZ and just shit like that, like, oh, Tim, you really doing something? Like, no. You weren't fooling with me. So get out your environment,
Keep that same energy. That's my favorite. Keep that same energy.
I traveled around a lot, so I got to see what life was like. And then when I worked in corporate, I was a trainer, and so I traveled a lot. And that's what helped me a lot, going to different places, learning different ways. There's something that you might be doing in your big city right now that a small town ain't doing. Mm-hmm. And you could literally go there and introduce a concept that's been going around for years in your city and monopolize. That's my page. Yeah, follow
you. They keep asking in the chat. I'm putting your LinkedIn in the chat. I'm putting it in here. I'm gonna share it on the community wall.
Yeah, I have fun. I have fun on social media. So, and everything in my title is true. So, I just got reappointed as the zoning commissioner. So I was laughing because I said, man, somebody's gonna object to this because I'll be online cussing and I be me. But my councilman was like, that's why I like you. He said, one thing that we need in positions like these is authenticity. Yeah, you're gonna be yourself, but when it comes time to do a case, you're gonna dissect that case unlike anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And our district is better because of that. So yeah, I have a good time on there. You laughing at me? Shout out to Boosie, man.
I love little Boosie. You know why? He be doing too much on Instagram with the naked ladies.
Hey, listen, Boosie's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I had the opportunity to sponsor one of his events here in Dallas.
Who that man with that hair on his head? Who
right there. That's when I had hair. I had an opportunity to sponsor an event. That right there. Boosie has diabetes, and he does an event called Balling for Diabetes, where he brings out celebrities and he puts on celebrity basketball games. Mm-hmm. And so he had one a few years ago, and I served as a sponsor. And man, he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, man. Down to earth, genuine, just a good dude, man. I unfortunately I saw him again, at the Mo3 Memorial at City Hall, and that was a little bit more of a somber situation, because someone had just passed away. But yeah, I worked with Boyce in the past. We brought Boyce Watkins here. I spoke at Boyce's. He brought me to the All Black National Convention, and I spoke at that convention. And shout out to Boyce, man. He came to Dallas. We brought him to Dallas. I've sponsored events in the past at Paul Quinn with Charlemagne the God. I've sponsored Tariq Nasheed.
Tariq the informant.
Yeah, come on, man. Tariq's a good.
Tariq and I support the channel, y'all. So don't come at me with no stuff.
Tariq is a good, thorough dude. When I tell you, that guy didn't know us from Adam, and he was like, man, I want you to host my show. I want you to support, and gave me his entire platform, man. And then he wore my shirt on his show. And so every dealing that I've ever had with him has always been a pleasant one. He's a good dude. But I shout out to Todd Millie. I see him in there. I post a lot of quotes, post a lot of fun. We balance it out. I'm not gonna be the dude that's gonna be telling you how to live your life all day long. We're gonna laugh and joke too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want y'all to understand too that
look at my man, Ray Hatchett.
A lot of the choices that got made early lets all these people live differently. Andre, Karen the Prayer, Todd Millie, Talking Crazy on the Internet, all these things let you make choices in the future for how you want to live.
Yeah.
And so I want you to understand, like, I ended up having a consult call yesterday, and that person was like, wow, like, that's it? And I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, some of this stuff is more simple than we make it, and y'all overcomplicate it. So that's Atlanta.
That's A-Town. Man, I love it. And, my wife, man, if it was up to my wife, we would have moved to Atlanta a couple of years ago, man. A-Town is just a good city, man. It's a good vibe. I've never had a bad time in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. What questions y'all got in the chat? I'm gonna check them. There she is, that beautiful lady. Y'all, she like 4'8", but okay. Now, let me see.
I got a few more pictures on there. Everybody always laughs at the Ice Cube picture.
Where? Which one did I miss it?
Keep scrolling down. It's down.
Okay.
That's when we went to Baltimore. I just started posting back on social media. Like, I hadn't been on Instagram in years.
Well, and here's what I want people to understand: that you can have a whole business, a whole functional business in life, and don't even be on social media.
I don't understand that. I be in these streets, man. I love
Shaniqua. She cracked me up.
Shaniqua's good people, man. She's good people. She
just put like 20 billboards up in Oakland.
Oh, she's doing it in Oakland. Like,
I said, that's what I'm talking about.
Shaniqua's doing her thing, man. There's little Kiki right there when we sat down with him for the interview for the everybody watch this has done the South Side in the club. South Side. Everybody in the club done did that. So, and that's the young lady who lost her son. So we're gonna be talking about the gun violence in Dallas. We're gonna be talking about, just essentially different ways to kill a black man. And
this man called up what's his name show, and he said, "Oh, ain't no jobs in Dallas." I said, "Brother, don't do it. Don't you tell that lie on this internet." And the dude ain't even from here. What's his name? Jason Black. He was like, come on, man. Dallas, Texas. There's plenty of jobs out there in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, there's so much money in Dallas, man. That's me doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Making a motion. You know what I'm saying? I'll be doing something,
With the velvet on.
What is that, velvet?
Velvet suit.
Yeah, man. I can't go down there looking cheap. You know what I'm saying? I got to spend some money if I'm representing my people. Oh man, but
I'll put it in the chat, admin@classyclimbers.com. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now, I will not be available all next week. So it's already let you know. I will be out of the country. Not really, I just the phone won't be on. Let me see. Any other comments that I missed? I think y'all got it good. Tay says she coming to Dallas. She might see you. Listen, you can go on to Tim Jackson's link trend.
What she said?
She said she's coming to Dallas.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to get out a little bit more, man. I was a bit of a hermit for a while. I used to be the guy that was always out and about and always having parties and doing shit. Then I turned into the guy that nobody ever saw. Like, I just only I was just working in the streets and doing what I need to do. And then now I'm starting to kind of mix the two. Like, I'm getting out a lot more. Like I said, going to events and doing stuff. So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, Tim, let us know anything else you'd like to hit us with before we go.
That's really it. You all get at me on Instagram. Let's
it's
build
on Friday, together. Right?
Yeah, next Friday or this coming up Friday, the 17th. My event here in Dallas, but more importantly, Ericka and Dre and Charles, a lot of people have been kind of telling me I have a ton of content. I've got a podcast with over 150 episodes. So, I'm getting ready to start repurposing a lot of that content because I got some good stuff out there. But, I've always just been a hand-to-hand combat type guy. this internet is an interesting place, and I'm learning to use it to reach a lot of people for good things. Like, we need that balance. It's so much, y'all know I cuss, man. It's so much bullshit out there on the internet. Like, somebody's got to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? So I got to the point where I'm just so tired of seeing the bullshit. And I'm about to balance it out, man. I'm gonna give y'all something else to look at and something else to think about. And then I want y'all to continue to connect with people like me and Eric and other people that's actually doing what we say we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of people out there living a fake life.
And you don't have to.
You don't have to, man. Like, it's levels to it. Somebody said, listen, people living it up, running all kinds of business, don't post a thing on social media. Listen, one of the most wealthiest guys I know, he doesn't even have a social media account. I have family members that are doing some amazing things financially. They're not on social media. Like, social media is just it's where you go in many cases to be who you want to be. But I just believe in that. I want you to. I like showing people receipts. You know what I'm saying? And I like to ask for receipts. And that's not to say I don't trust people, but it's just. You got to verify certain things. So I've always been taught to keep things off social media if you don't want people in your shit. But the truth is that people live on social media. That's the way we communicate now. So you got to find that balance. But
also, too, Beyond Win was doing his interview, and the guy was asking, "How many rental properties do you have?" And he said, "That ain't got." He basically ducked the question, but basically said it's none of your daggone business in a nice way.
Don't tell people how much shit I got.
And then was like, "What that got to do with you getting started?"
No, it don't. It don't. You insulate yourself through your business or through your trust or whatever, and it is what it is. Like, I don't have to prove nothing to you. I tell you what, you put up. This is gonna sound arrogant. We can decide a nice little piece of money we can put up, and I can peek into your accounts, and you can peek into my accounts, and then whoever lacking get to keep the money. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to show everybody what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do what you do. Do what you do. You don't have to do it.
They really do. They be like, show me. I'll be like, baby, what you want me to do? Open my bank account on Facebook? What you want me to do?
Then when I open it up, oh, well, you don't have that. I thought you had. Well, that's your thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was Dr. Boyce Watkins had like a 690 credit score. And they were like, oh, man, he's talking about his credit bad. I'm like, 690? The nation average is 580. He can buy a house right now.
You know what? My credit was in the 820s, and then when we start leveraging our 0% interest offers to build wealth, it went from the 820s to like the low 7s, right? So there was at one point in the game, my credit score was like a 701. It hadn't been that low in a decade, but it was because of the money that I was leveraging from my 0% interest credit cards were helping me to build wealth. You understand what I'm saying? And so then after we got done getting the bag, as the kids say, and then we paid all that off with the money we flipped. Well, then it went back to 8 something, like within a couple of months. Like, who gives a shit about a credit score, man? If you got the bread, like, you're supposed to leverage your credit. I don't care what Boyce's credit score is. I know Boyce is gonna give me some game that's gonna make me some money because he has in the past. I don't care what Ericka's credit score is. I know Ericka's gonna give me some game that's gonna make me some money.
I got a video called it's coming out later this week called all they do is give Black people car loans and student loans.
That's it. But if you say that out loud, then you're talking down on your own people, And
I was gonna say just because of the way the systems, the algorithms. But again, there's a way around all that, right? So a lot of those guys and girls who did the Torino app and different things this summer, people was like, oh, they renting cars. They just use that money to go do something else. That's always been the game. McDonald's ain't about burgers, it's about real estate.
But listen, to a contrarian, there's going to always be a problem. A contrarian will always find the problem in the solution, right? I don't deal with contrarians. That's why I said point 2 is get away from negative people.
Man, I'll be blocking them on here.
A contrarian, I told somebody I was on TMZ once, and they were like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, well, my client, did this, and so I was with my client." "Oh, you wasn't on there. Your client was on there."
Like, damn.
Well, damn. so I wasn't on there. You know what I'm saying? I was. You know what I'm saying? You clear as day. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. There go my guy. Rest in peace to my guy Andre. Emmett. He was one of my clients. Played professional basketball. All-American in college. Played in the league. Played overseas. Was in the Big 3. before he got killed a couple of years ago. So just one of my professional athlete clients that I work with. You know, I mean, it's just I got a little track record, man. I ain't in the game of proving myself to people no more. Like,
because you don't even have to. And I'm telling y'all, like,
that's an old link. It's Tim Jackson now, right now, but the Real Dope Radio is on iTunes.
Well, whatever you post them to YouTube, just make sure you hit me up. I'll put them in the community wall. But yeah, y'all, I just want you to understand. There's just
funny thing on that Ice Cube picture, the one above, above to the left.
Going back up.
Yeah.
Going back up.
So if you Google Ice Cube, who is, you know, Ice Cube's daughter, that's the first picture that comes up if you Google Ice Cube's daughter. Or the second picture, man.
It ain't you though, it's Ice Cube's daughter.
It ain't you though.
It ain't you though. You're like, but I'm in there. But that's the nature of people though, right?
That's the nature of people, man. You know what I'm saying? People always want to talk that shit when they don't have nothing going for themselves. You know, a lot of times people can't get out of their own way, so they want to bring you down with them. And that's why I say you got to get away from people like that. You got to get away from people like that, man.
The energy, y'all. I don't know, y'all. I'm not trying to go woo, but I'm gonna close it out. Talk about the vortex of abundance, and I know y'all get tired of me going woo sometimes. Some of y'all love it. I want you to understand that, like, you have the life you create. You have the friends you embrace. You have the people you choose to put your time into. And honestly, if you can think it, you can do it. And all Tim Jackson did is say, can I save my money, pay off my debt, and live the life I want so that my wife can choose to go to work if she wants to? I can feed my small dog select food that I cook in the kitchen.
My dog eats good
when I want. These are questions you really have to ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? So go to Tim Jackson event. If you're in Dallas, listen, Dallas, y'all need to get around better energy people. You got split energy. Let's unsplit that energy.
Let's unsplit that energy, man. Let's unsplit that energy.
So,
Eric, I always love coming to your profile, to your in front of your people, man. Like, you have very, very, very good followers. You have such an amazing group of people. I don't think I've ever met anybody associated with Classy Climb that ain't about their shit. Like, it just is what it is. I've worked with clients and helped them buy houses. It's just a good group of people. So I really commend you on what you're doing.
I appreciate you.
I really do, man. Y'all, and shout out to the people that just bought some tickets. That's what I'm talking about. You know, to the event. Like, it's time for us to grow. It's time for us to come to the realization that, you know, we can't keep playing games no more. Like, you either gonna have to shit or get off the pot. It's that simple, right? And a lot of people are starting to feel it. Like, you know, we living in some strange times. There's no such thing as the middle class anymore. The middle class is eroded. Like, there's no middle class. It's going away. You're either gonna have wealth or you're gonna be begging for help.
Well, DJ the Money Coach has a good breakdown of what the middle class is, but it's basically people go, oh, white supremacy, Asian supremacy, you know, the Asians taking over, but it's really not. It's called asset supremacy. It's who owns assets, right? Point blank period. Keep it simple. Who owns assets? That's why I talk about Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward, how you have the same 5 families that own 80% of the properties. 3 are Jewish and 2 are Italian families.
Man, my aunt bought a property in 3rd Ward, man. I ain't gonna say the street because then people will know where it's at. But it's a busy street, a main street out there. She bought this property years ago for pennies on the dollar. And that house is multiplied exponentially. And she took her time and fixed it up the way she wanted to. And now that whole TSU, U of H area is, man, you can't even afford to be over there anymore.
Money Madu has a pop piece over there.
People thought she was crazy for buying this property. That's why you don't surround yourself with people that can't get out of their own way. You understand?
Listen. Somebody asked if the event virtual. No.
Hell no, it ain't virtual. Get your ass up. I'm messing with you. It's not virtual. I'm sure I'll repurpose the content. And I'll have some courses available to you. I'm gonna tax you though. I'm gonna be real with you. It's gonna be taxed, but it's gonna be worth it. I got so much stuff going on, you guys. Like, just stay tuned. But no, we're not gonna make it virtual this time because this is an intimate setting, and of course, I'm gonna have recording for my documentary there, so I don't want it to be virtual.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
again, Bobby, I'm gonna tell you right now, we do not care. Y'all looking at dislikes. YouTube looks at it as engagement. Again, this is where I talk about split energy. We don't care. We do not care.
You need your haters, man. Like, who
They
cares?
watching me. They confused fans. That's what they are.
Hey, listen, Bobby. If everybody like your shit, that's a problem.
Thank you.
That's a problem. I don't even want to surround myself with people that won't tell me I'm on some bullshit if I'm on some bullshit. So
that's why I love Dre. Dre will call you and be like, "Hey, that ain't it." Dre be like, "Take that down."
When it comes to certain things, Dre be getting on my man, Dre, and I'll be like, "You right, bro." But no, I gotta wrap it up. I gotta get to this book signing.
For sure. All right, we've been here an hour and 30 minutes, y'all. Y'all got all the game you gonna get out of us today. Okay. And so listen, hit it up. The links are in the chat. Thank you, Tim, for your time. I'm going to get this in. And you guys have a wonderful evening.
All right, you take care, Ericka.
Peace out.